Most people I know hate deer. They hate them because they eat their shrubs, their tulips, their gardens. Farmers hate them because they eat their row crops, their orchards, to the tune of millions of dollars every year. They're just hateful animals. They ruin everything. They ruin everything. People hate deer because of the likelihood of having a car accident. Tennessee is one of the states that has a very high incidence of deer-car collisions. And as you may or may not know, because of this, we all pay higher car insurance rates because there are so many car accidents with deer. People also don't like deer because they are part of the life cycle of the tick, and the ticks are the carriers of multiple tick-borne diseases, including Lyme disease, which is a very difficult disease, very debilitating, and very painful disease. And so, not just in Tennessee, but in lots of parts of America, deer are considered a pest problem. Nobody likes deer. And it's really sad because deer are pretty fabulous animals. They're beautiful. And look at how sad they look when they're in the headlights. It's really bad. Scientists like me have been looking at the effects of deer on forests using paired plots where we exclude deer and have others where we provide deer full access to look at how forest health and biodiversity is affected by the presence or absence of deer. So we just take data over years and years and years, and we see things like this. The access side is toward you. The fence you can see beyond has the full complement of stages of the forest life cycle. We have seedlings, saplings, and mature trees and shrubs, lots of different kinds of species, while in the foreground, it's a monoculture of an invasive species, Asian stiltgrass. So one of the things that we have shown is that deer suppress the native species, especially the understory herbaceous species, which are the biodiversity of the eastern forests. And what they favor is invasive species like garlic mustard. So why do we see so many deer? In the 1950s, we had actually extirpated deer from the eastern half of North America by hunting, and we reintroduced them. And they have grown in numbers to the point that they're overabundant. And in the far right graph, you'll see that the bright red colors, there are 45 deer per square mile. That's a lot of deer. Why? We've done it. We've changed their environment. Deer are edge species. They love to be along the edges of forests and fields. And we have carved up the habitat in a way that it's perfect for deer, and our little suburbs with each of us having 1 acre plot and a lawn in the middle, they love it. We're also hyper keystone species. We hate predators of all kinds, and we remove them from ecosystems, whether it's ocean, intertidal, freshwater, or land. We've removed most of the predators on the planet because we're afraid of them. What happens when we remove them? Well, if we remove the carnivores, if we have carnivores, you can see there's a positive curving arrow coming down to plants. That's because the carnivores control the herbivores like deer, and the plants get a positive benefit. When we remove the carnivores, we remove that positive effect for the plants, and we lose forest biodiversity. And this is happening all over the planet. It's called trophic downgrading, and we humans, by getting rid of the carnivores and the top predators, are simplifying the habitats and the ecosystems across the entire planet. So the left panels have where the carnivores or predators are absent and the right are present. So what can we do? We can protect predators. In lots of places, coyotes and bobcats and lynx and other things are moving back in, work to protect them, help people understand that these predators serve a huge function in the maintenance of biodiversity for all of us. We can also be the predators ourselves. We can hunt herbivores, we can teach our children to hunt herbivores, and we can also learn to hunt longer. There was a study done by the Heinz Endowments in Pittsburgh where they radio collared hunters and showed that they only went 20 feet away from their truck before they gave up. It's true. So by maintaining the biodiversity, we not only have the aesthetic beauty of things like the wildflowers that we love in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, but we have all their functions. We have food, fuel, and fiber. We have resources for pollinators, for seed dispersers, for herbivorous insects, and these animals themselves provide food and sustenance and habitat for other organisms, such as the migratory birds and the forest birds like turkeys that are resident year-round. These organisms are really interconnected and part, I'm showing them in steps, but they all interact and are part of the forest that we love and the biodiversity that we really need. And of course, the mammal group is, people come to the Smoky Mountains to see these creatures, to see the bears, to see the deer, and if the habitats are not complicated, these organisms don't stay there, they go away. So I'd like you to consider your effects on biodiversity and whether or not you want a simplified habitat like the one on the left, which is invaded with garlic mustard, or a more complex and diverse habitat on the right where species interactions are intact and ecosystems are much more functional. And I'd like you to think about the fact that although we consider deer overabundant, it's really humans that are overabundant on the planet. And even though we're overabundant, we're a part of nature, we're an integral part of nature, and we can do something about our effects in the long term. So thank you very much.